Welcome back, everyone. Today we're jumping into a mind-blowing story from the entertainment world, the unforgettable Ozzy Osbourne moment that had fans in shock. We'll break down the hidden details, the unexpected twists, and take a closer look at the life of the Prince of Darkness. Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover what really went down and why it left such a huge impact. Have you ever heard of Ozzy Osbourne and the crazy stories from his life? If you have, drop a 1 in the comments. But if this is your very first time hearing about him, type 0 below. And don't forget, stick around until the end of the video and hit that subscribe button to support the channel so we can keep bringing you more awesome content. The report set off plenty of conversations, revealing details that caught both experts and fans off guard. Along with the struggles of Parkinson's and long-term spinal problems, health battles Ozzy had faced for years, analysts pointed out unusual reactions in his body, which some speculated might be tied to outside factors we don't fully understand. This sparked theories that Ozzy may have come across something that impacted his nervous system or overall health later in life. Even though there's no solid proof to back up those claims, these surprising details have opened the door to fresh debates and further investigations. Ozzy Osbourne has created a legendary musical legacy, leaving a mark on rock that no one can replace. But even in stories that picture his final chapter, the mysteries surrounding the end of his journey keep sparking curiosity. Was there something Ozzy never shared? Did he understand more about his condition than he let on? The reports highlight plenty of striking details, but they also leave new gaps in the story of the Prince of Darkness. And just like his music, those unanswered questions will keep echoing in the hearts of fans. The idea of an autopsy in Ozzy Osbourne's case has always stirred debate among both fans and experts. Some believe it wouldn't be necessary, given his long history of illness and the years he spent under close medical care. Others argue that such a step would make sense, especially for someone with his level of public attention. In these imagined accounts, the procedure is described as being handled with extreme care, not only to shed light on lingering questions, but also to avoid false speculation and make sure no unusual details are missed. In imagined reports, the first results of an autopsy revealed abnormalities that had never been mentioned before. Small traces of unidentified chemicals were said to be found in Ozzy's blood and tissues, sparking speculation and calls for further investigation. While not considered deadly, these findings raised concerns about possible indirect effects on his health. On top of that, examinations of his brain and nervous system were described as showing more complex damage than doctors had ever recognized during his life. This leaves behind a haunting question. Were there hidden processes in his body that neither Ozzy nor his doctors ever truly understood? While imagined reports of an autopsy didn't reveal any clear external factor behind Ozzy's passing, they painted a wider and more sobering picture of the serious health battles he was believed to have faced in his later years. Parkinson's, spinal injuries, and the lasting effects of his past lifestyle choices all came together in this narrative. Instead of closing the book, the account opened up deeper reflections on the heavy price a music legend might pay for a life that was both dazzling and unforgiving. While fans have long known about Ozzy Osbourne's struggles with Parkinson's and accidental injuries, imagined autopsy accounts tell a different side of the story. In these versions, experts describe abnormalities that couldn't be explained by Parkinson's alone. Damage to internal organs pointed to the possibility of other risk factors, perhaps connected to the toll of an unhealthy lifestyle. In this framing, the autopsy wasn't just about finding a cause, but also about reflecting on the lasting impact Ozzy left behind through his extraordinary and turbulent life. What imagined examinations revealed in vital organs like the liver, kidneys, and heart was nothing short of shocking. In these accounts, forensic specialists pointed to clear signs of damage, believed to be the result of years of alcohol and drug use that once defined Ozzy's classic rock and roll lifestyle. These effects weren't seen as just physical consequences, but as factors that weakened his body's ability to heal and defend itself in later years. Analysts suggest it was the combination of underlying illness and the long-term toll of his past lifestyle that caused his health to decline much faster than many had expected. These imagined autopsy accounts also point to a bigger message: the long-term impact of drug use on human health, even after recovery or major lifestyle changes. In this version of the story, Ozzy's life becomes a powerful example of how past choices can leave lasting consequences. His journey, from rebellious rock star to legendary icon, stands not only as a personal story of struggle, but also as a reminder to the generation that once idolized the excess and chaos of rock and roll. Imagined autopsy narratives draw a direct link between Ozzy Osbourne's health and the lifestyle he carried throughout his life. In these accounts, his long-term addictions are described as leaving lasting damage to major organs, including the liver, kidneys, and heart. Experts in these portrayals suggest that years of drugs, alcohol, and even prescription medications played a major role in his physical decline. This mirrors what Ozzy himself has openly admitted about his struggles with addiction, mental instability, and the pressures of fame. Factors that, in this telling, pushed his body to its limits in his later years. Imagined autopsy accounts didn't just point to signs of Parkinson's disease. They also suggested that Ozzy's body had been shaped by many other factors the public rarely considered. Even though he was seen as sober in his later years, the toll of his past was never fully erased. These narratives propose that while overcoming addiction was a powerful mental victory, the physical damage left behind can last a lifetime. In this telling, those hidden injuries are seen as the driving force behind his rapid health decline, weakening his ability to fight illness and deeply affecting his quality of life in his final chapters. One striking detail in imagined accounts is that, even after Ozzy's recovery from addiction, the lasting damage from alcohol and drugs was still visible in his body. In these narratives, specialists describe his liver, kidneys, and cardiovascular system as carrying clear signs of long-term harm, evidence of a past shaped by substance abuse. This damage is portrayed not only as a factor in his rapid decline, but possibly as a central cause of the organ failure that closed his story. Beyond the shock, it stands as a powerful reminder of the heavy cost of decades spent living on the edge. Although Ozzy Osbourne had left drugs behind years earlier in these imagined accounts, the effects of his past are described as being permanently etched into his body. Forensic specialists in these narratives suggest that damage to his liver and kidneys may have built up silently over decades, only becoming evident much later. These problems are portrayed as the classic consequences of long-term alcohol and drug abuse. And while he was said to have worked on improving his health in his later years, the severe damage from the past remained a driving force in his rapid decline, ultimately compounding the impact of his existing conditions. Another surprising detail in imagined autopsy accounts points to the lasting impact of the spinal injuries Ozzy suffered throughout his career. From dramatic stage falls to car accidents, these moments left him with serious musculoskeletal damage, especially in the spine. Even with multiple surgeries, full motor function was never fully restored, and chronic pain followed him for years. In these narratives, those struggles made his later life extremely difficult, both physically and mentally. Do you think findings like these could change the way the world views a celebrity? If yes, drop a 2 in the comments. If not, type 5. Every interaction gives me more motivation to bring you the most shocking and mysterious stories from the entertainment world. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it. In imagined reports, specialists suggested that Ozzy's spinal injuries not only restricted his mobility, but also indirectly affected his overall health, making recovery harder with time. In this telling, chronic pain wasn't just a physical weight. It also played a major role in his mental and emotional decline. When combined with organ damage and Parkinson's, these struggles were portrayed as key reasons his health declined so rapidly in his later months. It serves as a powerful reminder of the price Ozzy was imagined to have paid for a life lived to the fullest, through both his legendary music and his risky personal choices. In imagined accounts, doctors suggested that Ozzy's past spinal and body injuries may have triggered ripple effects across other organs, reducing blood flow and leading to serious heart and kidney complications. In this telling, those injuries weren't just part of his long health battle. They also weakened his body's ability to recover in later years. While Parkinson's disease was widely recognized, the imagined autopsy narratives describe additional organ failures that had never been reported before. Most notably, severe damage to vital organs such as the heart and liver. In imagined reports, doctors pointed to signs of dysfunction in Ozzy's major organs that had rarely been discussed before. In this telling, the problems were linked not only to Parkinson's disease, but also to the toll of a lifetime filled with stress, addiction, and cumulative physical injuries. The strain on his body was described as so severe that, even with strong medical care in his later years, his organs were portrayed as failing rapidly under the weight of decades of hardship. In imagined accounts of his later years, Ozzy Osbourne is portrayed as enduring immense health struggles. Prolonged illness and severe physical injuries are described as having taken a heavy toll on his body. His imagined passing is depicted not only as a profound loss to his family, friends, and fans, but also as a stark reminder of the lasting impact of the turbulent and difficult life he once lived. Despite battling multiple serious illnesses, Ozzy Osbourne is often portrayed in imagined narratives as never losing his will to live. In these accounts, one of the central treatments in his later years was Parkinson's medication, prescribed to reduce tremors and improve motor control. Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurodegenerative disorder, is depicted as an inseparable part of his story, bringing tremors, loss of movement control, and constant fatigue. Medications like L-Dopa are described as easing symptoms for a time, allowing him to stay mobile and continue working, though they could not cure the condition or stop its progression. In imagined narratives, the greatest challenge Ozzy faces is that the benefits of Parkinson's medication are short-lived, gradually fading as his body grows accustomed to the treatment and side effects become more noticeable. While he's able to maintain certain activities for stretches of time, the decline in function caused by Parkinson's is portrayed as irreversible. Along with medication, he is also described as undergoing physical therapy to preserve mobility and manage pain. Yet sticking to this regimen is depicted as a constant battle, as chronic pain and old spinal injuries make the process extremely difficult. In imagined accounts, doctors observed that although Ozzy pushed himself to keep up with physical therapy, the unrelenting pain, combined with the fatigue of Parkinson's and the lingering effects of past substance use, made it nearly impossible for him to live a normal life. The weight of illness and long-term injuries is portrayed as a constant struggle in his later years. Yet even against these overwhelming challenges, his perseverance and fighting spirit are remembered as truly remarkable. In imagined narratives, despite doctors' tireless efforts to treat and manage Ozzy's complex health struggles, his condition is described as showing little improvement. Through it all, his devoted wife, Sharon Osbourne, is portrayed as his unwavering source of strength. More than just a loving partner, Sharon is depicted as a steadfast companion, a dedicated manager, and an irreplaceable well of emotional support, helping Ozzy endure and push through the most difficult chapters of his life. In imagined accounts, when Ozzy struggled with relentless pain and a sharp decline in physical health, Sharon was always portrayed as being right by his side, caring for him and supporting him every step of the way. She is described as sharing that, in the darkest moments when Ozzy nearly felt like giving up, it was her encouragement that kept him moving forward. Sharon's devotion is portrayed not only as physical care, but also as a profound source of spiritual strength, helping Ozzy hold on to his will and faith, even in times that felt utterly hopeless. In imagined narratives, late-night heart-to-heart talks, gentle walks through a quiet green garden, or simply peaceful evenings spent together became Ozzy's source of comfort and spiritual refuge. Sharon is portrayed as doing all of this not only out of love, but also because of her deep understanding of her husband's health and fragile state of mind. She is described as fully aware of the physical and emotional pain Ozzy endured, always ready to be there, to listen, to comfort, and to stand beside him whenever exhaustion felt overwhelming. In imagined accounts, the Osbourne family, especially Sharon, are portrayed as making great sacrifices to help Ozzy face the painful challenges of his later years. They not only devoted their time to caring for him step by step, but also showed unshakable spirit, serving as a pillar of strength during his hardest moments. Sharon's love and devotion are described as a profound source of encouragement, giving Ozzy the will to keep going and confront reality despite his declining health. In imagined narratives, Sharon Osbourne's care for Ozzy is portrayed as going far beyond his physical health. She is also depicted as playing a crucial role in helping him through the deep psychological struggles he endured. Feelings of despair, loneliness, and helplessness are described as gradually weighing on his mind. Yet Sharon is always there, encouraging him, sharing the burden, and reminding him that he was never truly alone, even in the darkest moments. In imagined narratives of his final days, Sharon is portrayed as more than just a caregiver. She becomes Ozzy's closest confidant. She is described as listening to and sharing in all his worries, anxieties, and fears as he faced the idea of death. Thanks to her constant presence and unwavering love, these accounts suggest that Ozzy found comfort and a sense of peace within his soul, allowing him to face the end with greater serenity despite the pain and turmoil. In imagined accounts of his life, Ozzy is portrayed as having faced many mental health struggles, when depression, loneliness, and despair threatened to overwhelm him. He is described as always fighting to rise above them. By his side, Sharon Osbourne is depicted not only as the one who helped him endure physical pain, but also as the constant source of support, guiding him through moments of weakness, his strongest pillar of spiritual strength. In these narratives, she is remembered not just as his wife, but as his companion, manager, and devoted protector. In imagined narratives, Sharon is portrayed as having spent years caring for and protecting Ozzy from life's storms, from career struggles to his personal battles with addiction and illness. Her sacrifice and devotion are described as a guiding light that kept Ozzy moving forward even when the odds seemed impossible. These accounts suggest that without the unwavering love and support of Sharon and their family, Ozzy's journey might never have been as enduring or as meaningful.